What the is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Beers and. Today, we're going to be talking about beers and why so scared. Scaredy cats.
You baby back bitch.
Baby back ribs.
Oh.
Whoa! I saw you bop it up and down while I was saying the intro.
Yeah.
And it almost distracted me.
Oh, okay.
I almost broke.
But you didn't.
But I didn't.
Because you're a professional.
But I didn't. Here we are. Actually, funny story before I introduce the show, because who cares if who knows who we are. I was watching scrolling through videos, America's favorite pastime yesterday, and happened upon this video of Gadot.
Yeah.
And her talking about how she's one of the easiest actresses to break.
Oh, really?
Like she'll break no matter what.
Huh.
So Chris Pine apparently calls her Giggles Gadot.
Oh, my God.
Which I thought was so funny.
That's brilliant. Giggles Gadot.
Giggles Gadot. Welcome in, everyone, to another episode of Beers and. Sorry, that was a little hot. Nick and Alex here, as always.
Hello.
We are having a new beer today, but I'm not going to tell you what it is yet.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Why don't you come to YouTube and check it out? You can come to our YouTube channel, Beers and Podcast, over on the YouTube. Also on the Instagram and the TikTok. So come follow us there. Come check out what we're posting. And you can see the beers we're going to drink.
Exactly. All by the same name. Beers and Podcast.
Beers and Podcast. Thank you, Nick.
You're
Nick,
very welcome.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I went to go and get my oil change, and no, that's not a euphemism. Went to go have my tires rotated. Also
not a euphemism?
Also not a euphemism.
This is a very boring day so far.
Yeah, so far. But I got dressed up for it because I had to also go and discuss my lease terms. So I felt in my mind, I was like, let me not look like a schnook.
Oh, okay.
So I'm taken more seriously, and I probably shouldn't say the name. Well, no, the dealer's a nice guy. But then they introduced themselves as Wolf, and I thought, well, this is what I'm working with here. So that's not a name, that's an animal.
Was that his name, though?
Nope, just a nickname. On his card, though, is blank Wolf last name. Yep.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the gym. So,
Nick has been very productive today. I had work earlier, although we're not going to talk about that because I hated it. It was okay.
We both had the saddest 32-year-old mornings.
We really, you know what? Sad, but also right on par.
Right on, right?
Yeah.
Exactly where we need to be.
Let's get to the beer.
Yeah.
No condensation.
Condensation.
Everyone, welcome to our first Drowned Lands.
I'm excited
This is called
for this.
Deep Terra. So, Nick, I don't think you've ever had anything from Drowned Lands?
I don't believe so, no.
So they're out at Warwick, New York. Mm-hmm. This is a double IPA, 8.2%. So it's a little up there.
A little hefty.
I would say that in my experience of Drowned Lands, they are a little different than what we're used to.
How so?
You're going to get more of like an earthy tone in the IPA.
Ooh.
Something we really don't have too much.
I think it says on the can, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere, I think it says like rich dirt.
Yes. So I didn't know they're a farmhouse brewery founded on an old farmhouse, and that's their saying, dirt rich, and their motto or their mission or slogan, whatever, is to pay homage to the dirt that it was built on.
That. It's funny you mentioned that. We were actually just at a brewery this weekend
Without me?
I'm so sorry.
You son of a gun.
I know. I'm a real piece.
Scallywag.
Real piece. But what was interesting, so this was out in New Hope. If I could remember the name of the brewery, I would, but I can't. So
in
I don't.
PA?
Yes, just over the border.
I feel like I know, but...
But what was interesting is that they built themselves as a farm to tap, which I thought was very interesting. That. Yeah, we had we both had some pretty good drinks in them. I think I had their farmhouse ale, which I love, me.
Oh, yeah. Big Saison guy over here.
Yeah, I know. Just because it's the most pretentious sounding is really what it is.
Is it? Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Is that a farmhouse ale? No.
No, it's a Saison.
That's a Saison? No. Je suis le Saison.
Sorry, I just got distracted. I have to tell you this, but I feel like I need to show you the video before I tell you.
Okay.
So, teaser. In between episodes, I'm going to show you the video, and then we're going to talk about it.
Oh.
But you have to remind me.
Okay.
You have to remind me. You have to say,
show me
Alex,
that video.
Show me the video about pouring beer.
Oh. Ooh.
Show me the video about pouring beer.
Okay. I'm interested because I love how that there are myths and there are superstitions sometimes in certain ways, much in the way that pouring anyone is, like the whole idea. and I love this. The whole idea of like letting red wine breathe, total bullshit.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, because I believe that.
Yeah, they say like, oh, you put it in a decanter. No, it's not.
I mean, I would just like let it sit open on the counter for a couple minutes.
Yeah, or that like you can put it in the glass and it gets the same amount of air. No matter what, realistically.
So you don't have to let wine breathe.
No, you don't have to really let it breathe for any like extended period of time by really any means. That could be a lie as well, but I feel like I heard that quite recently as being the case. So I'm going to stick with it because it makes things interesting.
You are my authority on wine, I would say, at least in my proximity. So I'm going to trust you.
As a wino.
Yeah, I'm going to trust you.
Sure.
So really quickly, let's get into the question of the day. We're sticking with the theme. Do you have any unrealistic fears?
Oh, we haven't even said what our why so scared. Oh, do I have any unrealistic fears?
We haven't, you're right. Phobias, by the way, folks.
Is what we're talking about.
Phobias, folks.
Keep up. Do I have any fears?
Unrealistic, like irrational fears.
It's probably like an undiagnosed disorder, but like I do have an irrational fear of putting on weight. I am horrifically afraid of ever getting heavy.
Yeah, I don't think that has like an actual name, like an actual phobia name.
I believe it's called Obesophobia, if I'm
real?
not mistaken. Yeah, I found a very extensive list at one time, and that was, I believe, one of them. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's
terribly irrational.
I would say that's probably good for you because that keeps you healthy and for the most part, right?
Yeah, but it's like to a probably an unhealthy degree at
healthy
times.
To an unhealthy degree.
Exactly.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm a bit of an acrophobe.
Meaning?
I have a fear of heights.
Oh.
Yeah, an intense fear of heights, and I don't even have to be up somewhere high. Like if we were on the streets in Manhattan, and I looked up at a tall building, instant anxiety.
Really?
Yeah, just like imagining being up there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I developed vertigo a couple years ago, so...
I didn't. That's awful.
It's terrible.
My mom has that, and that can strike at any time.
Well, I have it specifically when you look up at particularly tall structures. Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't recommend.
Sorry, Mom. First time my mom ever got vertigo, we were in church. And it had never happened to her before. So, like, she started to not feel well, and I, like, got nervous because I was... younger and like she was fine.
Yeah.
And that's when we found out that.
Talk about either like a 50-50 shot of either having like a religious experience or vertigo, one or the other. Yeah. The spirits are moving through me.
I'd prefer the religious experience.
Well, I don't know. I feel like that could lead to even more problems. Potentially.
Let's get back to the beer.
I love this golden color.
I say it all the time. This is what I want my IPAs to look like. This like straw golden.
It's a beautiful
color, nice and hazy.
Haziness.
Yep, nice and hazy. So this is made with. So they have a little bit different of a base.
Yeah.
Let's say. So this one's made with a blend of Pilsner, Maris Otter, wheat and oats, raw and malted.
Okay.
And then it is hopped with Matuka, Wakatu, and Cashmere.
Ooh, so you can smell the cashmere.
3 Southern Hemisphere hops, which we love. And on Untapped it says super soft, creamy, delicate, packed with a bright tropical hoppiness.
I say we get right on in. I'm excited for this one.
On this.
Hopped up.
Okay. So I got huge mango. I didn't even taste it, and I smelt the mango.
That is fascinating. The
pineapple?
mouth. I don't know how they're able to get this mouthfeel.
That's crazy, right? It's got to be their wheat oat base.
And I'm guessing it's a mix of both the dried and the malted oats.
Yeah.
It's almost thick, but in a very velvety and creamy.
Yeah.
That's
exactly what it is.
Because it doesn't have that sort of consistency at all. It doesn't.
No. Because when you drink it, it feels like this is going to sound silly, but like fluid. But when it sits in your mouth for a second, I know, right? Water's wet, right? Actually, that's not true. Only what water touches is wet.
Correct.
That's weird.
I love that.
Anyway, it when it sits in your mouth, it's kind of more creamy, and you think it's heavier, almost like a syrupy, but it doesn't drink that way.
It's interesting because of the mouthfeel. I'm almost searching for a vanilla flavor. I don't know why.
Thinking that you were going to get like a milkshake IPA?
Yes.
Yeah. There is no lactose in here.
No, and you could definitely tell that again by the viscosity of it. Viscosity. This is a phenomenally well brewed beer.
Do you get the earthy, Jesus. like more of like an earthy? It's kind of hard to explain because it's meshed really well with the tropical flavor, but there's like an earthy back note to it.
I was gonna say at the very end.
Yeah, more like maybe not so bitter, like a soft bitter.
I was gonna say there's really no bitterness to this whatsoever,
and not much of the 8.2.
No,
ABV
none,
either.
Not at all.
This is super drinkable.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, this is super drinkable.
We've been having a really good string lately, and I think that this is undoubtedly up there.
This is really good.
Give it to the biggest beer snob you know, and they will appreciate this. And you can, again, give this to somebody that's used to drinking Coors Light and would say, this is a tasty, tasty beer.
You want flavor Coors Light?
Here
got
you
your
go.
flavor.
I got your flavor right here.
Right here.
Right here.
Over here, over here.
Yeah.
Over there, over here.
Over here, over there.
Over there, over there.
Wherever.
Over here, over there.
I'm loving this.
I am much higher than the Untapped rating.
I mean, I feel like I am too.
So it's 4.15 out of slightly under 4,000 check-ins.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say much higher than
I'm higher.
that.
What do you got?
I'm going to go more of maybe much higher might be an exaggeration on a scale of 5. I'm going like a 4.35, 4.4-ish. Like this is very, very, I could drink a number of these.
Oh, yeah. I'll meet you in the middle, 4.37.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
That's how I feel about this. This
absolutely
is super
delicious.
tasty. I can't get over the mango, pineapple, nose in there. Because I think it really assists with the flavor.
But it's not sour at all. It doesn't have any of that sort of, it's stone fruity, but not to the point where I would say it has notes of, or additional notes of stone fruit. That's coming explicitly from the hops.
So on here, I didn't do this before, but some of the we're tasting notes are orange peel.
Okay.
Which I would say not so much. Gummy rings. Yes, peach gummy rings.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That is very specific.
And peaches and cream, which I would say so with the mouthfeel.
Yeah.
For sure.
I am very, very impressed. If their other beers are like this, I undoubtedly want to come back.
They've all been pretty good. All the ones that I've had have been pretty good.
Well done.
Yeah. I would crush, so many of these.
Yeah. This is dangerous, too.
Unrelentingly.
You can almost have it. It's a standalone beer. I feel like I could have it with my meal.
Okay.
I also feel like I could have it afterwards. Like this would almost be a nice, even like after dinner beer, if there are such things. Realistically, who's
any beer you have after dinner is an after dinner beer.
Well put. Thank you, friend.
That's just like whenever any meal you have is the first meal of your day is breakfast.
Exactly. I love it. But like I could have this afterwards if you put out some like nice stanky cheese, with some raspberries.
It's funny you say that, Nick. I'm going to get to my brew news in a minute.
Does it have to do with stanky cheese?
It actually does. But yeah, this is great. Actually, I wouldn't mind like an orange wedge in here.
It's a super, super, super grown up Blue Moon.
Way better than Blue Moon.
Way better.
Yeah. This is
better.
What Blue Moon wants to be when it grows up.
Yes. Blue Moon is the community college version of this Ivy League beer.
Oh, fair enough. With this, I would say this is probably the Stanford of beers.
Oh, the Stanford of the beers?
Yes.
Okay, I like that.
A bit haughty-taughty.
Yeah, a bit up there. Yeah, just a...
You gotta make sure you know an alumni.
I like how before
you get into
we're really out of our depth at this point.
I love it. It's fine. Let's talk about phobias.
Yes.
We didn't tell anyone, so why are you so scared? We want to talk about the irrational, intense fears that everyone has, or like most people have, right?
Most people have one.
one.
Absolutely.
Right, okay. So just very briefly, what a phobia is what I just said, an irrational and intense fear of a specific object or situation. So according to the National Institute of Mental Health, approximately 8.7% of people, or about 19.2 million American adults, suffer from one or more specific phobia.
Interesting.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but I think it is.
Yeah, I'll put it to you this way. I know that just based on like a recent news story, someone was talking about, again, the elections in like Wyoming, and they had made reference to the fact that Wyoming is a state of less than 600,000. So you're talking...
No way.
Oh, yeah. There's no one that fucking lives there.
Talking about more than 10 times the amount of people that live in
Wyoming.
Wow.
Yeah.
God damn, the Great Plains, man.
Yeah, right.
Why do we have them?
Well,
what do we need them for?
To fly over.
Fair enough. So the actual list of phobias is limitless.
Extensive.
As we've kind of talked about off air.
Yes.
A little bit. But the intensity varies from person to person too.
I love that is the caveat for it being a phobia. It's not just simply I have a fear of. No. There is that irrational aspect of it.
Intense. Like, and I'm going to go over the symptoms in a little bit because there's a few of them.
Yeah.
Not only psychological, but also physical too. So you could, if you were phobic, you could be subject to one or all of these. You can become dizzy, shaky, sweaty, or even have heart palpitations. Terror, so which would be a consistent and intense fear of the object or situation. You become obsessive thoughts about it, finding it hard to think about anything but your fear. The desire to flee the situation, and even anticipatory anxiety at like the next time or situation that you may come in contact with this phobia.
You know what? I think I do. I have a fear, and it developed more recently than not, of seeing anything that comes through like porous materials and whatnot. Okay, so have you watched The Boys?
Yeah.
Okay, you know when you see who's the scales?
The deep, yeah.
Can like physically
those are a little awkward.
But even like, so there was a beginning sequence
Someone
of
stuck their finger in there, right?
Dude, don't even talk about it. Like can't.
Okay.
Found myself hiding my eyes anytime I thought that they were going to show them. There was an opening sequence also to an American Horror Story once where something had seemed to come through like holes.
Oh yeah. In the intro.
Can't do it. Like
in the intro
makes me like physically like.
So it's funny you say that because I actually like, I'm an off topic. I'm not affected by gore.
No.
Usually.
Yeah.
But I finally found something that bothered me enough that I couldn't watch it.
Go on.
And it was an American Horror Story.
Oh.
One of the stories.
Yeah.
I don't know if, have you been watching this season?
No.
Okay. Well, I won't get too much into it because it really grosses me out. But there's an episode, it's called Milkmaids, and it's about people in the time of smallpox.
Oh, God.
And this one girl gets cowpox. Supposedly cowpox is like an antidote to smallpox in the show. But she like has these sores on her, and like people.
Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Yeah. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it. Okay. Anyway, all right. So here's a list of the top 12 most common phobias in America. Okay. So we have Mesophobia, which is the fear of germs or dirt. I would say I know a lot of people who are like that.
Yep.
Terra Merhanophobia, which is a fear of flying.
Okay.
Didn't know it was called that. There are social phobias, fear of social situations and people. I know some people like that. Trypophobia, which would be a fear of injections.
Oh, okay.
Pretty common one. Arachnophobia, a fear of thunder and lightning.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not the same as another one that I saw, which is a fear of storms and thunder that makes loud noises. Two different phobias. There's Cynophobia, the fear of dogs. Agoraphobia, fear of not being able to escape, and I think that's like tight places, kind of claustrophobic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Acrophobia, which is a fear of heights, like I just talked about. There's Ophidiophobia, a fear of snakes. Arachnophobia, a fear of spiders, which I have a little bit, but I think I'm getting over. Nyctophobia, fear of the dark. And dentophobia, fear of the dentist.
Really?
12 most common in the U.S.
And I've got none of them.
I know at least one person that has, well, not one person that has, no. I know someone who has most of these.
Really?
Like, maybe not all in one person.
Yeah.
But I know people who have almost all of these, except for maybe fear of dogs.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, maybe a couple of them. So what I did learn, and I don't know if you covered it all, is that most phobias seem to stem from something that did happen in one's childhood.
Yeah, I read that
during...
They really haven't figured it out
right
where they exactly come from, but they come from just like the base fear response. They're innately rooted in there, but they don't know where the irrational part comes from, like you said. So I'm going to get into a story later about a celebrity, and it's going to kind of like allude to what you said, something that happened in her childhood.
Really?
That gave her the phobia later in life. Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to kick things off then with, and we had chatted about this real quick that, I'd started off looking at, okay, is there a list of celebrities with phobias? And then I kind of went from there. So, by the way, my sources, Wikipedia, which, by the way, started donating $1 to at least once a week.
Good for you.
You know what? Had to do it, folks. Take the time. You know damn well that you look it up and use Wikipedia on a very regular basis.
I will admit that I did do a one-time $10 donation. Yeah.
Something to keep it there.
They're a great free resource.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Wikipedia, a website called verywellmind.com, and another one called fearof.net.
All right.
Okay. So are you familiar with Trypophobia?
I think so, but explain it to me.
So Trypophobia is the fear of being buried alive due to incorrectly being pronounced dead.
Oh, man. Many a great movie have played off this.
Many a great movie.
That's a unique one because I'm terrified to be buried alive.
Are you really?
Yeah, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I'm not irrationally afraid of being
buried alive.
Yeah, mispronounced dead, I guess.
So interestingly enough, and that's due to modern medicine. Prior to modern medicine, it wasn't considered to be a totally irrational fear at all. So, for example, in 1905, an English reformer by the name of William Tebb, he had collected a list of 219 near live burials, 149 active live burials, 10 cases of live dissection, and 2 cases of awakening during embalming.
This sounds grave mistakes, and pun not intended. But that's terrible.
Christ. It is.
Actually.
It is. So, William Tebb.
Thank you, by the way.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
He, along with a man by the name of Walter Howden, had formed the London Association for the Prevention of Premature Burial in 1896. And they had campaigned on improvements for death certification and for the building of quote-unquote safety coffins with warning systems to notify a person, or if a person was mistakenly declared dead and buried. So again, you would see there are some, if you go to some old cemeteries, they might have a little bell that'll be on it, and the bell would be connected down to.
Way.
Oh yeah, that's what that was. There's a misconception that the term Saved by the Bell, the term comes from that. It's not. No, it's not. But that's one of
awesome.
the ideas. So there are, however, many legends that helped support the theories that this happened a number of times. In fact, one funeral director had claimed that, quote, nearly 2% of those exhumed were no doubt victims of suspended animation, meaning that these people had been in a coma.
Yeah.
And were not technically dead, but they were buried as such.
Oh, my God.
One of the most famous examples was a woman by the name of Anne Hill Carter Lee. So she was actually the first lady of Virginia from 1791 to 1794, and she's the mother of Robert E. Lee.
Oh.
She had fallen ill in, it's either 1804 or 1805, I couldn't find an exact year, who had apparently died and was later saved from the burial vault by a sexton who had heard noise coming from her casket. So these burial vaults, they used to build these things, and they almost look like, and again, I'm not trying to be crass, no one make a weird juxtaposition, but they almost
don't even know what crass means.
In poor taste.
I know.
Sorry. They almost look like these above ground, almost like kilns or pizza ovens. Almost, almost like above ground, morgues.
Yeah.
I think morgue, is actually a perfectly much more appropriate way
I
of
prefer
putting it in
pizza
there.
oven.
Yeah, because they are. They were these stone structures and whatnot.
Yeah.
So apparently that happened to her. There are a number of famous folks who were nervous about the similar thing happening. So Chopin, the composer.
Yeah.
When he had died, he was so afraid of this. When he had died, he requested his heart be cut out to ensure that he was dead. George Washington requested that his body be laid out for 3 days to ensure that he was dead. But I put down here, though they took enough blood from the man when he was sick to kill him twice. And Hans Christian Andersen and Alfred Nobel had both asked for their arteries to be cut open when they were dead.
Wow.
Yeah. People were that
afraid
of it. And it is a horrifying... There are a number of stories you could hear where, like, people would then subsequently be, like, exhumed, and you would see, you know, that these people would have, like, bloody nubbed fingers because they were trying to they would crawl, you know, trying to scrape their way out and scratch their way out. Yeah,
son of a gun.
Insane.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm going to give you, from what I remember of the video that I saw, in case you're ever buried alive, how to get out of your casket.
Okay.
So if you realize you're in there, first thing is don't panic because there's only a finite amount of air.
Right.
So you need to like limit your movements, control your breathing, and keep yourself alive for as long as possible. Then get out of your shirt, tie it around your head because you're going to have to break the casket.
Yeah.
And the dirt's going to fall on you. And you can't, you don't want to suffocate in dirt.
Right.
So if you tie the shirt around your head, there's a way to tie it so that you tie it completely so it's shut, but you can still breathe.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, all your force to try and break the casket. And when you do, the dirt is going to come in and you just do your best to kind of shimmy up above the dirt as it falls and shimmy up above the dirt as it falls. And eventually, if you keep moving and keep like kind of pushing the dirt down while it falls on you, you can get out of the casket.
I don't even want to have to imagine.
Didn't think you were gonna hear that, did you?
No, I didn't, and I don't even want to imagine. I'm hope that, God forbid that happens, I'm already so so old, where I'm just like, you know what?
Just in case.
Just leave me be.
Just in case. Hey, you know what? Maybe somebody wanted to get rid of you, and you're young.
Oh, in that case, you better fucking hope I die. As I say all the time, you better hope it kills me.
And even if it does, he'll probably come haunt you anyway.
Whew, that is terrifying.
Yeah, that's not something you want to be in that situation.
No.
But just in case.
Yeah, there you go.
Now you're somewhat prepared.
There you go.
Tie your shirt around your head. And yeah.
I appreciate it.
Fight for your life.
Thank you so much.
Literally. Okay, let's go to a little bit of a lighter situation.
Okay.
So I got curious. I wanted to really focus on like the weird phobias. You know, like the off the wall ones, the ones that not really everyone has, and that even though they're all irrational, that these particularly are like silly.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's kind of boring. And I was like, maybe there's some celebrities who have weird phobias. So that's exactly what I found.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about some of these folks.
Okay. So like, and here's my thinking while I'm doing this. I'm like, they're normal. They're just like us.
Right.
You know, everyone's afraid of something unless you're like, I don't even know. I can't think of anyone who's that badass.
They got a
Danny Trejo?
No, he's
Machete.
Yeah, no, I know. You're right. You are correct. But he's got to put his pant legs on one leg at a time.
One leg at a time, like the rest of us. Okay, so here are some celebrities and their strange phobias. So Kristen Stewart, much like her ex Robert Pattinson, is an equinophobe.
Meaning?
She's afraid of horses. This is actually what I alluded to before. The
thinking
origin of this is when she was a child, she was ejected off a horse.
Listen, that's
injured.
That's a very scary.
Oh, absolutely.
These are
terrifying.
Mammoth.
Yeah, exactly. They're
mammoth
huge.
beasts.
And when you're kids, you get launched off a horse at like 8 feet high.
Good Lord.
Yeah. It's scary. But she had to get over this because when they shot Snow White and the Huntsman, she had to ride a horse.
Huh.
So she battled this fear, and you're going to see this with the next one too. Scarlett Johansson.
ScarJo?
Yeah.
ScarJo. What is ScarJo? I'll protect her.
Terrified of birds.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I think they're remaking.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
And they're also remaking Arachnophobia, which is actually appropriate for this episode.
It's very appropriate for this episode.
Yeah.
And we'll chat about that a little bit later on.
Okay. Oh, good to hear.
Really, the whole. You know what's interesting with the birds thing is that I know in Italian culture and whatnot, that birds are often like bad omens.
All birds or just like a crow?
No, like birds. Like the idea, like if a bird ever flew into your home, move,
get out.
Yeah,
really.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is called ornithophobia.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then when asked about it, she said it's, and I quote, "It's something about wings, beaks, and the flapping." Apparently, this runs in her family, so it makes it kind of hereditary. I don't know if that's like an anomaly or like just that's how it goes?
I don't know, but that would be interesting.
She's another one who had to get over this because when they filmed We Bought a Zoo with Mark Wahlberg, or was that Matt Damon?
No.
I always confuse them.
Yeah, no, Mark Wahlberg. Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We bought a zoo.
We Bought a Zoo.
Yeah. See, if you say it with a Boston accent, you can't
Mark
tell
Wahlberg.
who you can't how it. Yeah, it's
Mark
Mark Wahlberg.
Wahlberg.
Yeah,
It could be Ben Affleck. But,
it
but
could be,
not.
but it's probably
You
not.
can't confuse
Let's-
those faces.
No.
Okay, so this one doesn't have a name. This phobia. It's that ridiculous. Kylie Minogue apparently has a fear of clothes hangers.
I feel like I've heard of this before.
Okay, so this is new information for me, but she hates putting
Can't
things
get you
away.
out of my closet. No, I don't want to hang.
I forgot
up
that
all
was
of
her.
my
I was like trying to think
clothes.
of Kylie Minogue songs, and I can't. So I mean, she's
I'm so sorry that I knew it so
Not great.
Kylie Minogue song so quickly off the top of my head.
so apparently she doesn't like the noise they make when you put them in the wardrobe,
Interesting.
which I feel like is a very English thing to say. And
Yes, well, that's what they. Well, because they usually don't have closets. They've got a separate piece of furniture usually,
like an armoire.
like an armoire. Yeah, which might be more pretentious than a. Than
Very French.
Yes.
Why are there so many French things? It's very
Yes,
French.
I put my saison in the armoire.
That's a terrible place for a beer.
Ah,
Oui.
fuck you.
Oui. Okay. So this one's one of my favorite phobias, but one of my least favorite families.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Kendall Jenner suffers from trypophobia. So trypophobia, you might be familiar with the fear, but not the name.
Yeah.
This has got to be a tough fear because I feel like so many things can set you off. But this is the fear of tiny holes in weird patterns.
Oh, that's like that's
Like
yeah.
what you were explaining before, kind of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
yes.
she proclaimed that some of the things that might set her off are pancakes, and I said, waffles?
Oh no, because have you ever
pancakes because when you cook them
when you put that first,
Okay.
yeah, before you flip it over the first time,
Okay,
you've
I
got
see you.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So pancakes, honeycomb,
Okay.
or lotus heads.
Okay.
And I've heard people say that like pieces of coral, like coral reef.
Oh, I've
bother
heard of
them
that.
because
Yeah.
of the because of the pattern.
Interesting.
And that is something that that doesn't bother me. But when I look at those things, I can kind of see it
I can understand it.
because it's very like
Well,
why are
especially
there so many holes on you?
especially because of the fact is that I think that we associate perhaps as like again as like I think human beings to see something in a pattern is one thing, but usually to see like I think like holes in irregular patterns, that to me would imply there's burning or something is hot and it's acidic and it's like that's not
Okay.
good.
Those are not the things that I thought of, but okay.
I don't know. I am not a psychomowadalist, you know.
A psychomowadalist? That is my new favorite word.
Psychomowadalist.
Nicole Kidman.
All of these women are also the most gorgeous women on the face of the
Yeah.
planet. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
they're all being brought down to earth.
Actually, Cameron Diaz was on this list, but I didn't think that hers was interesting enough
oh, okay.
because she's over it now.
Oh.
And now I'm gonna say it. She used to have a fear of doorknobs.
Oh my God! I asked Nick about a particular like phobia I should look up, and he had said the fear of doorknobs.
Doorknobs, really? So
Yeah.
apparently she would polish them so much she would take the shine off of them.
Yeah,
she
girl.
would.
Oh.
Okay. So she has this is Nicole Kidman.
Yes.
Lepidopterophobia.
Okay.
Which is a fear of butterflies.
Oh.
So she goes on to say how she doesn't like the feel of butterfly bodies, but has no problem being covered in cockroaches or jumping out of airplanes.
Oh, okay.
Again, irrational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those comparisons are not
No.
necessarily like
You
equal
would think like,
juxtapositions.
nope, exactly.
No.
This is another nameless one. Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
He's afraid of antiques.
Oh, I heard about this.
So much so that he won't stay in a room with pre-1950 furniture.
What kind of a dick though do you have to also be and just be like
What kind of an eye
that
do you have to
ottoman?
have?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. You know you have enough money when
The dude who's afraid of antiques but can spot them from a mile away.
from a mile away.
That makes no sense.
Exactly.
Okay,
We're gonna
okay.
have to get going over here. I see that coffee table is clearly Edwardian, and I don't fuck around with anything that's.
When is this armoire?
pre-mid-century.
Is this armoire from 1949
How
or
do
is it
you
1951?
go anywhere after a
Dude,
while?
I don't know. You can't stay anywhere. I don't know.
He's a weird dude.
Okay, how about this one? My favorite elf and yours, Orlando Bloom,
Okay.
has Cynophobia,
Is fear of pigs?
aptly named for fear of pigs.
Really?
I read that a loose pig on the Kingdom of Heaven set sent him running.
Huh.
Yeah,
I wonder why.
running. I don't know. Megan Fox has a list of phobias. Multiple. But the one that sticks out, and I'm going to say it, fear of germs.
Okay.
Normal. Dry paper, I don't get that one. But
as opposed
all
to
paper is dry,
paper?
right? Yeah, I have no like toilet paper is not dry all the time. But she has a fear of photos and videos of herself.
Oh, that's so weird.
So much so that it was written that at the time of the Transformers premiere, she had like a bunch of champagne to even go see the movie.
You're in the wrong industry.
Right.
What do you do for a living? I pose for video and pictures.
But I'm also afraid
But
of
I'm
that.
also irrationally
I never
afraid
look
of
at my own work. So also another note on Megan Fox, because I saw this recently and that blew my mind. So she's dating Machine Gun Kelly.
Okay.
Yeah. So like an interview came out. Apparently they like drink each other's blood.
Oh, I heard about that.
And then was asked about it. Did you see the interview?
No.
So she was asked about it, and she like kind of played it off. She was like, "Oh, we only do it for like ritualistic things."
Oh.
And then like, yeah.
It's
and
only
then
when we're summoning the dead.
right, and that was really it. Like she kind of just like said it, and everyone was like, "Oh, okay." And she was like, "Oh yeah, like he's really serious about it. Like, you know, he'll be like, open up your soul." But like, yeah, it's weird. I'm gonna show you the interview. Yeah, that's a fun one.
Someone go and help Megan Fox.
Maybe she's into it. I don't know. And here's my last one. I said lastly, but not leastly.
Okay.
David Beckham has Attacksophobia, which is apparently very similar to OCD. So he's reported to be like a mild-mannered, very kind person.
Yeah.
But gets, quote, very upset when things aren't organized by color, size, and quantity.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's a new one.
Yeah, I can understand being frustrated by it, but like to have like a fear and then like to get like lash out against it. And the only reason why I'm trying to like mildly defend is because if you were to go into the closet right now, everything is color coordinated. And then it goes by sleeve length and then by collar as well. So
I mean, that just sounds like organized.
Yes, but I also get very upset if there have been times where I've gone in there and I'm like, oh my God, the shirt's on the hanger backwards and it's not buttoned up all the way.
Are you an attaxophobe?
No, I think
you just have OCD, a little spot of the OCD.
Yeah, a spot of it.
OCD.
Just a touch of the OCD.
The OCD.
Oh God.
Yeah, so
I like those.
So they're they're normal people.
They are normal
with
people.
irrational, not normal fears.
What is one of the most common phobias, however, and I believe that you mentioned
talked about it, yep.
is arachnophobia.
Yeah, you ever see that movie?
That's what we're about to talk about. I love arachnophobia.
Let's go.
Great movie.
Brown recluses for life.
Yes. So it's a 1990 film, for those folks that don't know. 1990 film from Frank Marshall.
It's just as old as we are.
Just as old as we are. In his directorial debut, starring Jeff Daniels and John Goodman, and produced in collaboration with
John Goodman.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
First produced by Hollywood Pictures, which is actually a subsidiary of Disney, and I would never
didn't know that.
guess.
Okay.
Considering how tight Disney is, even then, for a budget of $22 million and wound up grossing just over $53 million. So
that's
pretty damn good.
Yeah, doubled their investment.
So for those folks who aren't aware, the film is exactly what you think it's about. A small town in California is invaded by aggressive and dangerous spiders. So according to Marshall, his intent for the film was to be reminiscent of The Birds.
Oh, interesting.
Right? Stating, quote, people like to be scared, but laughing like a roller coaster. No one wants to be terrified. Which I think is kind of the case with arachnophobia. Like, there's something humorous about. I'm also not afraid. You know me. I'm not afraid of spiders at all. I love spiders.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that.
I've gotten better about it. Now only like big ones.
Okay.
Like if it's too big.
If it's too big.
Which I haven't encountered in a while.
If you at night, all of my windows, and I don't know why, we have massive, big old spiders.
Oh yeah.
That all on the outside.
Yeah.
And I love watching them because they catch everything you could possibly imagine.
I know I'm interrupting you. We used to have a big MFer on our porch when I lived in Hazlitt.
Oh, really?
That lived there for 2 months in the summer once. And man, I mean bigger than a $50.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Some
like
of these guys
big.
get pretty because they're eating well over here.
And they're nocturnal. Some of them.
Yes.
I've begun to learn.
I was gonna say for us, I know. Like if you look now, nothing.
Yeah.
Almost all of them you'll see.
But they'll come out
down
later
at night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
So Jamie Heineman, the guy from Mythbusters, and I said I'm not sure if it's the Wilford Brimley mustache one or the
Or
other
the
guy.
other Wilford Brimley mustache one.
Exactly, but I said frankly I don't care to look it up. I'm just telling myself that it's the one with the beret and the Wilford Brimley mustache.
Okay.
So he worked on the film, and it was one of his first like special effects film jobs, and he had claimed that most of those effects were done really simply with like magnets. It was a lot of like magnet work.
For like what, the spiders?
Yes, for the spiders, and even more so, like for at least the fake spiders.
Oh, okay.
Because what they actually had used were just over 300 Avondale spiders, which are from New Zealand. Okay. Now, the reason why they had used these particular types of spiders is because of their larger size. They're unusual.
Oh yeah, they're big.
Oh yeah, they're unusually social lifestyle. So like these spiders are actually like they're called Avondale, or sometimes they're called like huntsman spiders.
Oh yeah.
And they'll they share with one another like in their colonies. Like
What?
Yes, like if one of them kills something, like everybody will go ahead and like eat from it. And they're generally like harmless to humans.
Okay, that's nice.
They were guided around because you obviously can't train a spider. Okay. So they were guided around the set by either heat or cold. Like they would change the areas of the set. They would use vibrating like wires to go ahead and get them to move in certain directions, or they would cover certain surfaces in lemon pledge because
which like scared them away.
yes, they refused to walk on this lemon pledge.
That's crazy.
I said that the Foley artists, so those people that make the sounds, must have had a field day. To create the sound of spiders being crunched, they stepped on mustard packs and potato chips, like bags of potato chips, which I think is awesome.
I love that. Genius.
So like I said, as I noted, the film did pretty well. It debuted at number 3 in its first weekend behind Ghost.
Oh wow.
And
Patrick Swayze?
Yes. And Die Hard 2.
Oh wow.
So like
2 bangers.
absolutely. So to come
man, it
in
came out the
third,
wrong time.
But to come in third behind the two of them,
Yeah.
pretty goddamn impressive.
Yeah.
And as you had kind of noted, again, it was just announced in June of this year that a remake would be produced with Marshall as the executive director and directed by Christopher Landon. And then I said, because why would we ever be allowed to have one nice thing done right one time ever?
You're right, because it's actually not a bad movie.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's just one of those things where I'm like, it's gonna be all, unless I'm wrong.
We love being wrong.
They're gonna do it all fucking CGI and all that kind of stuff. And to me, that's just gonna take.
They're
away
not gonna
from
bring
it.
300 spiders on set.
I hope they do.
You think?
If they could
they
do
will?
it in 1990, they could do it now.
I'm gonna look these MFers up.
They're not super big. They're like
It's the ones that they use for the brown recluse, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, they're not like huge.
They look big in the movie.
Avondale. Yeah. Oh, they should.
No thanks.
Guys.
So I had on this note, the other night we spoke. I worked late at a different shift.
Mm-hmm.
So the first night, or the first day, I should say, I was going into work. I saw a spider web in my car, like all in my window.
What did you do?
Well, I got rid of the webs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, if I come back later and the webs are here, I know
The spider.
there's a spider in here. Yeah. So there were. And now it's night, and I'm like, shit, they usually come out at night.
Shut up.
So I'm like waiting, and this happens to me a lot. Well, not a lot anymore, but it used to happen a lot. Motherfucker, right down
Shut
in front of
up.
dude, all the time. It's like they wait in my little thing.
You're in the visor?
Yeah, the visor, and then they're like, he's not paying attention, and I see it looks like a piece of lint, and I'm like, that's not lint, that's not fuzz. And I went, boom. I'm like, I got it.
Oh.
But I didn't get it.
Oh, you didn't.
No, I didn't get it.
Meanwhile, I found a little baby daddy long legs recently, actually right over where my yoga mat is over there. Mm-hmm. Do you know that I fucking swept around it because I was like, I don't want to disturb you at all. You do what you have to do, sir.
You know, they're poisonous.
They are.
But they can't reach you because their legs are too long.
That's allegedly the
hell,
case.
man?
My tattoo is for a daddy long legs.
Nature is
weird. I love it. Love it. My sparrow.
Right.
Tell us your fears. Tell us your fears.
But don't send us spider pictures.
I mean, you can send them to me.
You can send them to Nick.
Yeah, that's fine by
He'll
me.
look at them. I don't know why my voice keeps cracking like I'm a 3-year-old, 13-year-old.
There we go. I was going to say, what kind of 3-year-old were you?
I'm not good at math.
You know what you don't have to have a fear of, though? Not having another episode, because there's going to be more. We've got our another microbrew coming up for you.
Keep tuned for the microbrews.
Yeah.
Those are going to be fun.
Short, sweet, to the point. Like a shot of beer.
Hey, do you remember when we used to power hour?
Yes, I do.
Like, I don't think I ever actually power houred with you, per se. But, like, just the act of power hour.
Yeah, I remember that our buddy Steve used to have an 80s power hour.
He loved that.
He recently said to me, he was like, I can't find it. It doesn't exist anywhere. I don't know where it is.
That was his favorite thing, because they changed the song every minute, right?
Yep. Yeah. Corey Hart's Sunglasses at Night was always his favorite song, too.
It's a good one.
Right?
You know, I wore my first bandana the first time I met Steve.
Really?
Yeah, don't you remember the green bandana at the house?
I remember you having
that was the first time I ever wore a bandana.
Really? Have you worn one since?
No, and thank God.
Oh.
I'll bring it back?
I mean, why not?
Is it okay with, like, to be bald and wear a bandana?
I mean, why not?
I feel like it looks better with, like, hair.
It depends.
Coming down.
It depends. You got to just carry around, like, a motorcycle helmet under your arm from now on.
Yeah, and make it, like, look part of the costume.
Exactly.
You guys know what you're going to see next time.
Well, we go ahead and get Alex a bandana and a motorcycle helmet.
And maybe a motorcycle.
Yeah, maybe. But let's be serious here.
Probably not. Christina says no.
No. All right. And that ring says that's a done discussion.
What ring? Dun, dun, dun.
I'll fix it in post.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.